China's energy landscape is undergoing a significant transformation. The country, known for its insatiable appetite for energy, is seeking to diversify its sources and reduce its reliance on any single supplier. This strategic shift is driven by a confluence of factors, including geopolitical tensions, economic considerations, and the pursuit of energy security. One of the most notable developments in this regard is China's pivot away from US liquefied natural gas towards suppliers in the United Arab Emirates. This move has profound implications for the global energy market and underscores the broader geopolitical dynamics at play. The decision to reduce reliance on US LNG is not merely an economic calculation. It is a calculated move by Beijing to assert its independence and reduce its vulnerability to US pressure. The trade war initiated during the Trump administration and subsequently reignited upon his return to office has cast a long shadow over US-China relations. The imposition of tariffs and counter-tariffs has made US LNG less competitive in the Chinese market. This has created an opportunity for other suppliers, such as the UAE, to step in and fill the void. China's energy pivot is a clear signal that it will not be bullied by Washington. It is a reminder that Beijing has other options and is willing to use them to protect its interests. The implications of this shift are far-reaching and will be felt across the global energy market for years to come. China's burgeoning relationship with the UAE in the energy sector has taken a significant leap forward with a series of landmark deals. In April 2025, major Chinese energy players, including CNOOC, N Natural Gas and Zhenhua Oil, inked long-term agreements with ADNOC, the UAE's national oil company. These deals underscore China's commitment to diversifying its LNG imports and securing stable supplies from reliable partners. CNOOC, China's largest offshore oil and gas producer, secured a 5-year deal with ADNOC for the supply of 500,000 metric tons of LNG annually, commencing in 2026. This agreement marks a significant step in strengthening the energy partnership between the two nations. EN Natural Gas, another major player in China's energy sector, inked an even more substantial 15-year deal with ADNOC for the supply of 1 million tons of LNG annually, starting in 2028. While details of Zhenhua Oil's agreement with ADNOC remain undisclosed, the deal further solidifies the growing energy cooperation between China and the UAE. These deals are mutually beneficial, providing China with a stable and secure source of LNG, while offering the UAE a valuable long-term customer for its growing energy exports. The decline in US LNG exports to China is a direct consequence of the trade war initiated by the Trump administration. The imposition of tariffs on Chinese goods entering the US market triggered retaliatory tariffs from Beijing, impacting a range of American products, including LNG. These tariffs have rendered US LNG less competitive in the Chinese market, prompting Chinese buyers to seek alternative sources. The trade war has created an environment of uncertainty and volatility in the global trade system. The imposition of tariffs has disrupted established supply chains and forced businesses to adjust to a new reality. In the case of LNG, Chinese buyers have found willing suppliers in the UAE, Qatar and Australia, who are eager to capitalize on the opportunity created by the US-China trade war. The trade dispute has highlighted the interconnectedness of the global economy. Actions taken by one country can have far-reaching consequences, impacting businesses and consumers across borders. The decline in US LNG exports to China is a case in point, demonstrating the unintended consequences of protectionist trade policies. The return of Donald Trump to the White House in January 2025 has reignited trade tensions between the United States and China. Trump's America First agenda, with its focus on reducing trade deficits and protecting American jobs, has led to a resurgence of protectionist policies, including the imposition of new tariffs on Chinese goods. This has further strained relations between the two economic superpowers and cast a shadow over the global trading system. Trump's return to the White House has injected a significant degree of uncertainty into the global economy. Businesses and investors are wary of the potential for escalating trade tensions, which could disrupt supply chains, increase costs, and dampen economic growth. The International Monetary Fund has warned that a full-blown trade war between the US and China would have severe consequences for the global economy. The trade war has also had geopolitical implications, exacerbating tensions between the US and China on a range of issues, including trade, technology, and security. The rivalry between the two superpowers is increasingly playing out on the global stage as they compete for influence and resources. Section 5. Beyond LNG, diversifying China's energy portfolio. China's shift away from US LNG is part of a broader strategy to diversify its energy sources and reduce its reliance on any single supplier. This strategy is driven by a number of factors, including concerns about energy security, price volatility, and environmental sustainability. China is the world's largest energy consumer, and its demand for energy is expected to continue to grow in the coming decades. To meet this demand, China is investing heavily in a range of energy sources, including renewable energy, nuclear power, and natural gas. China is also seeking to secure access to energy resources around the world. The country has signed long-term energy deals with countries in Africa, Central Asia, and South America, as well as with Russia and the UAE. Section 6. The Russian factor: navigating sanctions and strategic partnerships. Russia has emerged as a key energy partner for China, particularly in the wake of Western sanctions imposed on Moscow following its invasion of Ukraine. China has been a vocal critic of the sanctions, arguing that they are counterproductive and harmful to the global economy. Instead, China has deepened its economic ties with Russia, providing a lifeline to the Russian economy and securing access to discounted Russian energy. The growing energy partnership between China and Russia has raised concerns in the West, particularly in the United States. The US has accused China of undermining Western efforts to pressure Russia over the war in Ukraine and has warned that China's support for Russia could have consequences for its relationship with the West. Despite these concerns, China is likely to continue to deepen its energy cooperation with Russia. The two countries share a strategic interest in reducing their reliance on the US dollar and challenging the dominance of the West in the global economy. Section 7. Energy security, a paramount concern for China. Energy security is a paramount concern for China, which relies heavily on imports to meet its energy needs. The country's rapid economic growth has been fueled by an insatiable demand for energy, and any disruption to its energy supplies could have a significant impact on its economy. China's energy security concerns are exacerbated by its reliance on seaborne imports, which are vulnerable to disruption in the event of a conflict or natural disaster. The country is particularly vulnerable in the Strait of Malacca, a narrow waterway through which much of its oil and gas imports pass. To address its energy security concerns, China is pursuing a multi-pronged strategy that includes diversifying its energy sources, securing access to energy resources around the world, and developing its own domestic energy resources. Section 8. A new world order reshaping global energy flows. China's growing demand for energy is reshaping global energy flows. The country's shift away from US LNG is just one example of how China is using its economic clout to secure access to energy resources around the world. China's growing influence in the global energy market has significant geopolitical implications. The country's energy diplomacy is increasingly shaping its foreign policy as it seeks to build relationships with energy-rich countries and secure access to critical energy resources. The rise of China as a major energy player is also challenging the traditional dominance of the West in the global energy market. China's growing influence is likely to lead to a more multipolar energy order, with China playing a more prominent role in shaping the rules and norms of the global energy system. Section 9. Conclusion: a sign of things to come. China's pivot away from US LNG is a sign of the times. It reflects the growing economic and geopolitical rivalry between the US and China, as well as China's determination to secure its energy future. This shift has profound implications for the global energy market and underscores the need for a more diversified and resilient energy system. As the world transitions to a cleaner energy future, China's role in the global energy market will only become more significant. The country's investments in renewable energy and other clean energy technologies are likely to shape the future of the global energy landscape. The world will be watching closely to see how China's energy policies evolve in the years to come.